Did you ever wonder as a kid why you were always addicted to those strange games that depicted George W. Bush falling down an infinite loop of balls, or those stickman fighting games? Maybe you even picked up on your interest of physics from one of many Rockstar titles such as Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead 2, or Max Payne 3 Ragdoll compilations. Now that was a good one. Yeah, I also had that same experience as well. But despite how many years passed by, I still find myself looking back with a greater sense of fascination with those type of games and the physics behind them. But why are we so drawn and fascinated by these physics games? Well, today I want to present to you some reasons why I think we love these type of games and why their popularity will continue on indefinitely. So go back all the way to your childhood to toys, more specifically Legos. You know how Legos let you build whatever you want, from supercars to iconic landmarks? Physics games are exactly that, but done to the 10th degree. Imagine your Lego world. But now you can throw in some dynamite and watch the bricks scatter in a glorious, chaotic, and cinematic explosion. You're not just building, you're interacting with the game's world in a way that's both creative and destructive. There is this abundant selection of games these days that showcase just how far physics-based simulations have come since the days of Endorphin. Does anyone even remember what Endorphin is anymore? In these sandbox games, there's no wrong way to play. You want to blow up train tracks and watch the train derail itself just for the heck of it? Go for it. How about throwing baseballs towards Earth at the speed of light? Why not? You become the master of mayhem, bending the laws of physics to what you want. And the best part is, you can go as mild or as wild as you want. Build a carefully engineered machine designed to perform a specific task, or just toss stuff around to see what happens. It's all up to you and what you want. There are no rules to stop or limit your actions. And best of all, no cleanup. Unlike real Legos, you're not going to step on a virtual brick in the middle of the night and regret all your life choices. Sandbox games gives you that Lego-like freedom to create, but with the added thrill of bending or even breaking the rules of reality. It's not just about what you can make, it's also about how you can break it as well. It's this perfect blend of creativity and chaos that keeps us coming back for more. But physics isn't all about breaking the rules of reality, because physics actually keeps us grounded in reality. And what do I mean by this? Imagine you're looking at this ragdoll and this staircase. If I push the ragdoll off the stairs, I have a general idea of how the ragdoll might react to falling down the stairs. And when we do see the results of our actions, it's way more satisfying to have the game's movement mirror our expectations. The same is true for when we're talking about debris flying in every direction, floors collapsing under weight, or even sinking ships. It's like watching one of those slow-mo videos of building demolitions, but you're the one pressing the big red button. Now, realism also makes the chaos way more unpredictable. In the real world, if you, say for example, drop a bowling ball onto a car from a crane, you don't exactly know what will happen, but you know it's going to be awesome. The same goes for physics games. The more realistic the game is, the more you can experiment with how different objects interact. Will that stack of barrels explode if you shoot it? Only one way to find out. And let's talk about the wow factor. There's something super gratifying about seeing a virtual world respond the way our world does. It's as if the game is validating your chaotic choices. You launched a rocket at that building? Boom! Now there's a gaping hole, and the entire structure is unstable. It might just fall based on, you guessed it, real physics that govern our world. Realism also adds layer of strategies in ways that you may not have even expected. So for a game like Teardown, you can't just go in guns blazing and expect the same outcome every time to achieve the mission's objectives. The game's physics will react differently depending on various factors, like the angle, force, or even the material you're interacting with. So you've gotta think on your feet if you want to master the chaos, or if you just want to mess around. Also, don't forget the replay value. When things react realistically, no two events are the same, ever. Each item that interacts with its surrounding does so in its own unique manner, and that's what makes it so addictive to return to. Every time you play, you're entering a new experience, filled with new opportunities for chaotic fun and destruction. That holds true if you get mods for these games too. So when it comes to ramping up the chaos in physics games, realism isn't just a metaphorical side dish. It's the absolute main course, as it amplifies the overall fun by making everything more unpredictable and just makes everything way more jaw-dropping and fun. It grounds us in reality, and it turns the game into a virtual playground where anything, and I mean anything, is possible. Lastly, you gotta love the humor that comes with physics games. Seriously, who knew that watching a colorful, blocky character bounce around like a buffoon before crashing into the ground could be comedy gold? Let's be real, physics games often take fail to a whole new, hilarious level. Ever launched a character off of a ramp expecting some epic flight, only to see them flop unceremoniously into a wall? That's not a bug, that's unintentional comedy. But the humor isn't just about epic fails. It's also in those moments where things go so unexpectedly right, it's absurd. Like you eliminate another player and they're transported to the next dimension. Yeah, the sheer randomness that physics offer practically guarantees laugh out loud moments. And perhaps the most important part is that these funny moments aren't forced. They happen organically, thanks to the game's physics engines. Whether it's a character's limbs flailing in the wind as they're launched across a map, or a car's failed attempt to ramp off a building turning into a twisted heap of metal instead, the physics bring the humor to life in unexpected ways. This kind of humor has a universal appeal too. Whether you've been watching and playing since the early 2000s, or you just came from a People Playground movie, it's easy to find the fun in watching things go hilariously wrong, or right, depending on how you look at it really. And let's not forget how these funny moments get immortalized through clips, memes, GIFs, you name it. The most ridiculous moments often go viral, becoming insider jokes within the gaming community. I mean, let's be honest, who hasn't seen the most Ragdoll moments before? The passive addition of humor in physics games come from their unpredictability and absurdity. It's a brand of comedy that's not scripted nor staged. It's born from the chaotic, impossible scenarios that only a game driven by physics can deliver. It's one of the main reasons we keep coming back for more, because let's face it, we all could use a good laugh. To sum it all up, physics games are more than just a way to pass the time. They're a chaotic playground that taps into something deeply satisfying within us all. From the first moment you experience the wacky Ragdoll physics to the last building you topple in a sandbox, you're hooked. It's that unpredictable nature that keeps us guessing and laughing, often at the same time. We're talking limitless opportunities for creativity, but also the same for destruction, and man does it feel good to let loose. And let's not forget the realism that turns simple actions into breathtaking events. Every explosion, every collision, every spectacular fail or win, it's all amplified by realistic physics. It's like the universe's way of saying, yeah, that's exactly how it should go down. And the humor? Come on. These games are basically stand-up comedy in digital form. Whether you're sharing hilarious mishaps with friends or enjoying the comedy of errors alone, the laughs just keep coming. But perhaps the real magic of physics games is how they bring people together. These games have a way of turning individual experiences into collective memories. So yeah, if you've never tried a physics games before, you're missing out on a wild ride that combines the best of gaming with chaos, realism, and humor. It's a roller coaster of emotions that you just don't play, you experience. So go ahead, wreak some havoc, make something awesome, or fail spectacularly. No matter what, you're in for a good time, and that's the beauty of it all. Physics games lets us dive into worlds where the only limit is our imagination, and sometimes not even that. There are more reasons, of course, on why we, for some reason, fall in love with seeing physics act out in our games, but these are the 3 reasons that I believe contribute to the universal allure of physics games, and why they will continue to remain popular indefinitely.